Everybody, welcome to the Gorilla Booking Podcast. You can't see me like John Cena because this is a tribute show to the man who's retiring on Saturday. All right, fellas, let's go around the horn and introduce yourselves as one of the famous John Cena fans out there who is actually going to go see him on Saturday night to watch his last match ever. It is the Master DJ. How's it going, my friend?
Word life.
Word life. That's right. And now the guy who could be the master of thugonomics because he used to do battle raps. And you can watch him on Gentleman 30. I'm not talking about server error, or maybe I am, but I am actually talking about Ariana of Andre. Got him. Fucking got him. Flexing like he got ice on his wrists.
That Mike Santana thing pissed me off.
Oh, man.
Oh, hey. And then a man who visits the bodega to get an Aki style for the Mike Santana, which is a flaming hot bag of ass. We give you Titus O'Neil's twin younger brother from two countries to the left.
I'm Titus O'Neil because I'm a primetime player. Fucking ask about me. And Joe, you gonna have to start writing down your intros, bro.
Oh no, I'm doing this one on purpose. Anyway, and my co-host, who has lived through the Attitude Era with me, who's lived through the Golden Era with me, who's lived through the PG era with me, but has no ruthless aggression unless he is making fun of people. Server, what's up, my friend?
I mean, I'm feeling wicked for good. That's for sure. I'm feeling wicked for good.
I can see him now.
Yeah, I used to watch wrestling when the wrestlers would pose like this. You know, just fucking
Like this?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, let's get it.
All right, but this is a tribute show. This is a tribute show to John Cena, and if we might have more guests show up if they want to. If not, it's going to be us five. But let's go around. I'm going to start with Server, and we're going to go with how do you feel John Cena's whole career has been? Has he been a guy who's landscaped the WWE for the better or for the worst?
I mean, for sure, for the better. I mean, without a guy like Cena through the years, like you aren't going to bring in a lot of the fans that they would have. Like if there was no John Cena, who else would they have had to be like that Hulk Hogan type? They need every like so often, like every 10 years or so, WWE needs to have like a Hulk Hogan type. You know, through the years, it's always, somebody who's like the big money maker for them. And then there was the time, you
larger than life guy
like The Rock and Stone Cold and, all those guys. And then you have Cena coming in. Yeah. Undertaker. And then you have Cena kind of taking the shit, run the football and running with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you need him, whether you like him or hate him. You need a Cena. You need that. The company needs a guy like that. And it's going to draw in different eyes because they have, appeal for entertainment. They have appeal for even music because he's not really that bad of a rapper if you think about it.
He's actually a really good rapper.
Really good rapper.
You can listen to.
Dude, I still bump his album. Bump the album.
You can listen to that. It's listenable.
I mean, I've seen some like I've seen some like photo like footage like someone like recording him like backstage, not backstage, but like with the fans and stuff. And the one that really like stuck out with me the one time was he freestyled against a kid after a show
against the white dude.
Wasn't that fake though? Wasn't that set up?
No, first of all, that was Kenny Dykstra, and that was fake.
It was Kenny Dykstra, so yeah. So it definitely felt scripted, but honestly,
it was definitely scripted.
The thing is, despite it feeling scripted, I remember watching that. It felt really cool.
I used to watch that over and over and over again. I used to love that segment. Amazing.
I didn't know it was scripted.
Yeah, it was Kenny Dykstra.
Dykstra. So yeah, definitely.
First off, we had this conversation. I'm going to bring up Gentleman's 30 for a hot second because
good shout out.
Hey, listen, in Philadelphia was this weekend. It did not go off as planned.
No.
But I asked Dre, I was like, listen, I'm not big into this, and we'll go back, but freestyle rap and stuff like that. I said I only know 2 guys off that list, and he guessed who the 2 guys were. But the point is that like I don't know like certain people around that time frame, especially because that's not my thing. But the point is that like you're like, oh, he's Kenny Dykstra. Who?
You don't remember Kenny Dykstra?
Like, nope.
He was in the fucking the
Man,
cheerleader.
this is right up there with the Jair Alexander thing, dog.
He was in Spirit Squad.
He was in Spirit Squad. He was like one of the better ones.
He was the leader of the Spirit Squad.
And then after that, he had like a little solo run too.
Yeah, he did good work against Ric Flair. I remember his good matches with Ric Flair.
They called him like the not chosen one, but he was trying to bill himself as like the next big thing, kind of.
Yeah, he didn't last. He didn't last long.
I was one of those guys when I saw the
years.
Spirit Squad come on screen. I kind of changed the channel.
Yeah,
I actually thought they were funny. I thought they were funny.
They were hilarious because
I was more a fan of the mean. I was more a fan of the Mean Street Posse. Like I was more of a fan of them than the fucking
Mean
Spirit
Street
Squad.
Posse was cool and all, but Spirit Squad came on, and then you had Crime Time too. You had Crime Time on there. That shit was lit.
I mean, who could ever forget Spirit Squad getting splattered with shit, dude? Like that was amazing.
It's funny how we're talking about Kenny Dykstra and Spirit Squad and John Cena when literally you could probably say Kenny Dykstra's whole career got ruined because of John Cena. So yeah.
Speaking of John Cena, though, man,
the thing is, John Cena's ruined a lot of careers.
A lot. Not on purpose either. Not on purpose.
I mean, it's not entirely what John Cena's fault. It's also because of the fact that Mickey James cheated on Kenny Dykstra to be with John Cena. So it kind of is on Mickey for the whole situation.
I clap her cheeks too.
Is that a real story? That's true?
That's the rumblings.
Yes, it is.
I clap her cheeks.
It is. Mickey James was literally they were engaged to Kenny Dykstra, and then he cheated on Kenny Dykstra for John Cena.
John Cena was fucking. He was fucking fat bitches at that time too. He went on fucking Howard Stern and was talking about
this way. They didn't turn that one, but that became a storyline. That became a John Cena storyline.
Come on, man.
John
Cena was.
I'm
putting this shit out there, server. Joe, I'm taking over for a second. You want to talk John Cena? John Cena is the LeBron James of WWE. He was destined to fail from the jump. And as soon as he got the ball and ran with that bitch, he then turned it into a whole fucking lifetime of accomplishments, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And
he was destined to fail from the jump.
And they both got that same bald spot in the back. But you're right. That's a good point.
But they bald. They bald for years. They bald for years.
Right.
That's
true.
He doesn't have that James Harden ball, but he's got that bald spot.
He got that shit though.
So can I play? I'm gonna play a bit of devil's advocate. And this is coming. I came up a huge John Cena fan. I mean, he was like the whole appeal for wrestling for me, especially in those middle school era days. When you ask the question whether he changed the landscape for the better or the worse, it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about pushing the wrestling, helping at least push wrestling more into mainstream, yes. If you're talking about bringing eyes onto wrestling and creating a generational buzz, yes. I think that when you talk about the ushering in of the PG era, though, which is he was largely responsible for, it wasn't just him; it was a Vince thing. I don't know if that necessarily was for the better. I think that's why we get the watered down product that we have now. But all kudos to John Cena tribute episode. I don't want to shit on him by any means, but
you can if you want to.
Yeah, well, but here's the thing:
be unbiased about the situation because I'll put it to you this way. I think John Cena is only the reason why he became who he was is because it's the right time, right place.
Mm-hmm.
So
he said himself. He said himself if there was no Brock. If Brock didn't leave or whatever it was, there'd be no John Cena. So to your point, right place, right time.
Not even that part, but right place, right time. But think about this. He came in right during and after WWE bought out WCW. So he had to be the spotlight when there was no competition. There was nothing around. I mean, ROH was a thing because they became around in 2002. You know, like CZW, WCW was always the back burner stuff. It was always the indie scene stuff.
TNA was the main at that point when they bought him out. People are watching TNA. They weren't watching CZW. The fuck?
Yeah,
it
people
was,
were
it
watching
was, and it
TNA.
wasn't even
What I'm
TNA.
saying
It was
is like TNA
NWA
wasn't
TNA.
pulling
Yeah.
in. No, but TNA wasn't pulling in the numbers that, like, I hate to say it, but like AEW does.
But they were still their direct
Because
competition.
it didn't have
they had a
the
fan
money.
base.
It didn't
Like
have
TNA
the
had a
same
fan base.
funding.
That went to FSN.
It didn't have the same funding. I mean, it wouldn't have the same fan base because it didn't have the same funding. But it was a very
No, you're on
adequate.
Access TV.
Yeah,
But they were. But that's before that. You're talking about later.
No, when they were on.
They don't have access to TV anymore.
We're talking about when they had AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher.
When they was on
It's
Spike
not-
TV.
they
When
had
they was
John-
on Spike TV.
Yeah, Spike
Yeah.
TV.
I'm
They
not
were direct
saying that
competition.
but it wasn't really gated as competition like WCW was.
I agree. That's true.
I don't know because it wasn't. But
no,
like
he's right.
that's where they ran to though. That's where everybody ran to.
In terms of,
There was no other place to go.
Wait, hold on. Let's not all talk over each other.
In terms of the ratings, no, they were really big of a competition. But in terms of the in-ring quality they were delivering and just overall just action they were delivering, absolutely they were competition.
Yeah,
they were delivering things that not even WCW or any of the company was delivering.
Yeah, they were the first
Ultimate
to
X
truly
Division
bring
was amazing,
indie wrestling. They were the first to truly bring indie wrestling to the mainstream because that's really all it was indie wrestling. That was.
I mean, you could have that. I mean, you could have that and just like Ring of Honor, like PWG, like being the workhorses for the indie scene.
Yeah.
Now, since we want to kind of keep it as like a tribute episode, you know what I'm saying? We gotta lean back into my man and whatnot. If you could say your favorite John Cena entrance of all time, what is it and why?
I already got it. I literally already saw it.
Mine's easy.
Mine is always going to be WrestleMania 25 with the whole entrance and just the whole load of John Cena's. I remember watching that and just being absolutely stunned because I'm like, one I could say was probably close to probably WrestleMania 26 with like the military and army forces. But when I saw just all the John Cena just walk out to the Dr. Thugonomics theme song and then Cena come out, it's just like just seeing the whole crowd in general, just the whole visual of it, the moment he's just running down with the whole John Cena, all the fake ones, it was just awesome. I just
it is good.
Yeah,
I was a big fan. I forgot what WrestleMania was. I was a big fan of the one where he drove. I think it was a Mustang out, where like it drove through
23.
He drove right through the fucking glass. That shit was tough, bro.
That was cool.
I don't think I have I don't think I have a favorite entrance, but I like a particular one. But like anytime he came out to Word Life. And he would always have these different fits on, like different jerseys
and shit. Yeah,
like cool. I was into it, especially when he had the Laker one on, and then there was
that was cool.
Like
that's what we got.
Would be Royal Rumble 2008.
Oh, yeah, that was such a good comeback. Good comeback.
The surprise return of John Cena was probably if I
really
think
is that
about
the one
it,
where they came out of the crowd?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah. He had his arms folded.
It was like real short and real close.
It's the tunnel. They come out of the tunnel. Yeah,
the little tunnel. Yeah,
that's how it used to be. They used to have that in MSG.
That's how it was.
Ones, it was always like direct shot.
If you go look at WrestleMania 10, that's how they walked out.
They had the same thing for
the shattered glass one in New York.
Hold on. Let's one at a time.
Okay.
They did the same thing for Royal.
Now no one talks.
Let me get mine out. It's a legend.
Yeah,
it's legendary.
What a legendary
Dre. Go ahead, Dre.
It's a legendary one. Mine's definitely gonna be WrestleMania 22. John was lit with the gangsters and CM Punk right on the side of the car.
We had CM Punk there when he was just.
My man shot the Tommy gun off in the middle of the joint.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then went out there and put on a
really good
5-star match.
That's a really good one.
That's a good one.
That's true.
I'll say an underrated one was, despite how much I hate that fucking WrestleMania, his 27 one. I'll say that's a kind of underrated one.
If I had to pick a close second for me would definitely be like his return at Money in the Bank when he didn't face Roman Reigns, but he came out and just looked at him. That's like the best shit ever.
I remember that. That was cool.
That pop was nasty. Oh,
that was crazy.
Yeah, but all in all, like I was saying, I don't know. Like, I mean, what do you guys think about that? Like, do you think that he changed the landscape for the better? Like, when we're talking about ushering in the PG era, like, do you think that was a positive thing necessarily? I mean, it made wrestling more acceptable to watch overall, but
I didn't have my thoughts on this, so I think I should give mine.
Go ahead.
In terms of changing the we said landscape earlier for just wrestling as a whole, I definitely have to agree with that because like for what he didn't just change the landscape for wrestling. He changed the landscape for just like sports in general because you just see like NBA, NFL, or just any sport you can think of doing the whole "you can't see me" stuff, like all those types of things, or just any tribute in general. In terms of ushering the PG era, I mean, most of it's on Vince, and I will say
Shout out to Tony Yayo.
and there was a lot of things that you could really say that he did around that time that were terrible. 2010, but even then, there were some good things that happened during the PG era, and I will say for what he did with the whole shirts and him just being like pretty much like the poster child and cover boy for all of like the PG era. I mean, it was good for the kids, for the adults though.
Which we were, and most of us were in that time period were like definitely either adults or like moving into adulthood, like 19, 20.
By the time the PG era started, I was 3.
Yeah.
Christ. Never mind.
Yeah.
Maybe you did like John Cena. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to say something about the PG era and whatnot with John Cena, I mean, some of his best wrestling came out of there, bro. Like he was putting on some good ass matches with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, bro. Some of his best wrestling came out of there, bro.
Dude, I will always have my key fond memories of when John Cena in 2015 became an indie wrestler was in his bag.
Yes, and I was gonna say,
bro was doing Hurricane Ranas.
The one
Hurricane Ranas, like
the one
he
thing I
brought out
can say
moves
about
that he had
Cena,
never done before. And
the one thing I could say about Cena is like I will always respect the fact that like when he was criticized about something, like he took that and he like used it as fuel. Like when people were chanting him, he couldn't wrestle. He went out there. He's like, "Let me learn some indie moves. Let me do a springboard stunner out of fucking nowhere in the middle of a match." I remember seeing that first springboard stunner, and me and my boy were like, "What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
when he literally did when he faced Kevin Owens at Money in the Bank 2015, did a fucking sunset flip powerbomb. He stumbled, then he did it again. I'm like, what?
The sunset flip didn't get me, bro. It's the Hurricane Rana. Like I've never, like you just never thought you'd ever see no shit like that.
The springboard stunner was like, what the fuck, bro?
Like, bro, a sit-out face buster, an electric chair face buster. Like,
bro, he was in his bag.
Like, where were these?
Yeah, he was in his, and he was doing it against some good comp. Like he was going up against AJ, putting on these matches. Seth Rollins, he's going up there. Kevin Owens, he's putting all these young niggas on.
Bro, he's facing guys like Neville, like Sami Zayn.
Yeah, bro, he was putting them young motherfuckers on. He was putting them on.
So what do we think about? What do we think about? And I have my opinions about the man. But what do we think about Gunther being his final opponent? How do we feel about that?
Well, I mean, look, I'll say this. I'll say that. Hold on, DJ, hold on.
What I was gonna say is I feel like we should save Joe for last for this one.
Fuck you.
That's what I'm gonna say. Just save Joe for last. Now you can go.
Fucking Joe and DJ are like the same fucking animal, bro. I swear to God. Look,
I'm third place.
No wonder they have the hand up fucking thing on here. No wonder. It's like, Jesus fuck.
You can go.
Talk to me, server. Talk to me, server.
All right.
I don't even have the hand thing.
Because you don't raise your hand. That's why.
You can go. I tried it once and it didn't work. But
doesn't work. Fuck that.
All right. So look, I'll say it like this, and I've said this in the Discord. I'm a fan of Gunther. I like him. I think he's a wrestler. People complain about WWE and say it's all entertainment, whatever. He's the one guy that's literally booked as a wrestler. He's subpar on the mic. I don't mind him, but he's out of everybody there, literally what people who are either AEW sickos or whatever, not a fan of WWE, they're like, they don't have any wrestlers. He's literally that guy. They book him like that. He comes to the ring like that. He's that dude. So if you look at like, who else would he go against? And this goes to DJ's point last week about the whole Super Cena one last time. Who else would be a better person to do that? Would be Gunther. Like, he's going to do that against LA Knight, who's they were trying to book as continued like a babyface, who's already kind of getting like a subpar run right now. People are saying he's being buried or whatever case may be. Why would you have him against that? So outside of like, oh, Edge is coming back, he'll be the last guy, or just some miraculous fucking booking.
That's what I was thinking.
He's the guy. They've never faced each other before. People, it's easy to hate Gunther. Everyone's going to be going crazy for Cena. It's going to be a good moment. There won't be a dry eye in the house. And I think like I don't want to say perfect opponent, but in this case, with what they have currently on the roster, he's as good as you're going to get, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because
All right,
most
who's
of
next?
them just I'll actually say my little standpoint on that.
Go ahead.
I know you're fucking weak. I was just about to say something, but whatever. I agree. I feel like it is like a good opponent for him, like I said last week. But yeah, with what you said about LA Knight, it didn't really make much sense for him to try and win because not just for inconsistent booking and just not trying to just give him the better chance to try and have a better chance to have him go after the world title. It's also just because like, who else do you think like really stood a chance in this tournament? Like Melo, like most people kept saying they wanted like LA Knight to win or Melo to win, but the reason why they kept saying this because they want them to have better booking. But for LA Knight, yeah, he's had a lot of trash things happen to him, but he was main eventing SmackDown last week and Raw this week, and all the stuff that's happened to him throughout the year, I feel like he's had so far a decent enough run. But besides that, all I can say is that just from just the whole tournament alone, the moment you heard Symphony Minor 9, it was GG. It was GG, man.
All right. What about you, Joe?
How to unpack this?
Might actually
Gunther
have the
is
same
best opponent for what John Cena needs. The problem is, it's a selfish move.
On whose part?
Cena deserves it.
Whose part?
Huh?
On whose part? Selfish on whose part?
On John Cena himself. I will tell you this, John. It's been come out that John Cena is the one who's masterminded this whole tournament and how he wanted him to be the last partner and everything. The thing is this. The person who needed it the most between everybody in that tournament would have been Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight. And LA Knight would have been a great push for him if he would have to beat Cena. And then that would be the end of it. Gunther can beat Cena. And it doesn't affect anything. Doesn't affect the whole thing at all. Carmelo Hayes, though, would be having one of the best storylines coming out of the tournament if he was to beat Cena, because he paralleled a lot of Cena's stuff, and DJ's brought that to light. That being said, Gunther actually cut a really good promo on Raw, going into Cena's final match. I'm not a big Gunther fan because I feel as if like Server said, AEW is a better suited for him because he's more wrestling centric and not entertainment centric. But Gunther puts asses in the seat to watch wrestling, and that's what WWE needs. And that's what we're going to get on Saturday night, which is probably the best thing for it because it's a throwback to an old event, but it ushers in a new future of things, because not only are we going to get John Cena versus Gunther, which is the only match that is main event versus main event, because everything else is going to be main event versus NXT, which is actually kind of cool. Which again, John Cena, I hope he doesn't retire and leaves WWE. I hope he retires from wrestling.
No, he signed a 5-year deal. He signed a 5-year
Yeah,
deal.
he signed like an ambassador deal, so you're not leaving.
Yeah, he's in there.
But I hope he does something like what Chris Helms does and Finley does. I want him to actually
be a security guard.
Well, he said something about working with NXT and stuff too, so he might be down there with Sean.
That makes a lot of sense because of what he's doing for the show.
No, I want him to write matches. I think he's actually got the chops for it. Like, he's been in the industry for so long.
Oh, you mean the writing portion? Yeah. Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, the writing portion.
Like what Hayes does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michael Hayes be doing some.
I mean, he's probably one of the best unscripted. One of the best unscripted on the mics. Cena is. As much as I don't like him, he's probably one of the best unscripted. If he can go down to NXT and teach these boys to not do bullet points and scripts off the rip from the microphone, we're going to look at a brand new era of NXT and a brand new era of main events when they finally come up, where we could see actually some really good Mike versus Mike work.
So let me do this,
And
and you had a segue that could have been perfect because you said he had the chops for it. He's facing Gunther, chop guy, but I want to go around the horn real quick with about 7 minutes left. Who do you guys think will win the match? Briefly, and is Cena the greatest of all time? We'll start with Dre. What do you think?
So I think that John Cena wins in Super Cena fashion. It's the best way for him to go out, honestly, against a big superstar like Gunther, like that and whatnot. Yes, I do believe John Cena is the greatest of all time, even though I'm partial to Ric Flair. But I think John Cena's done so much in his tenure and just as where he came from with no wrestling background whatsoever. He played football in college and just came right into OVW and just ran with the ball and never looked back one bit. Dude, you can't tell me a better story than that. There's no better wrestling story than John Cena. He was doomed to fail from the jump, and he made a successful career out of it. And he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, guys to ever lace a pair of sneaks.
DJ, who do you got? And is he the GOAT?
I have Gunther winning. I feel like Cena's gonna do one last hurrah and just have Gunther win on his way out. And I believe he is the greatest of all time. Just his dedication for just WWE in general, being like the one guy who's done like the most Make a Wish foundations, and just the way how he always dedicated himself to the sport, being a company guy, having great matches, being a guy that's always supportive no matter what happens, even during the darkest times or some of the greatest times in WWE. Like that takes guts. That takes like a large amount of grit for a guy like him to be able to do all of it, and the journey that he went through as someone who wasn't supposed to be there, and then create a character just from freestyling on a bus and create something phenomenal for just all fans in general, despite if people hate it or not. It's just you cannot tell me how great that story is. It's just phenomenal.
Dior.
I have I think they're trying to run with this legend killer thing for Gunther, so I have Gunther winning. Not a huge fan of Gunther either. We could talk about it next time because I can't really go into it right now. I don't necessarily agree with everyone saying he's the best technical wrestler on the roster. I think that's
No one said he's the best technical wrestler. Just said he's
I
a
never said
wrestler.
that.
No
no,
one
no,
said technical.
I
He's the
no,
best.
no, no, no. I'm not saying you did, but in the server we were debating about it in
Got
a
it. Okay.
VC. Yeah. And I know that that's something that people say. So I don't, but I do think that is a good match. But I do have him going over. As for if John Cena is the GOAT, um, I think that John Cena is top five. I do not think that John Cena is the GOAT. There are guys that I would put over John Cena. I do want to echo and give credit to what everyone else has said so far. He is absolutely, that story is, phenomenal, 100%. Everything from the Make-A-Wish Foundation stuff to the dedication, I 100% agree. As for being the GOAT, as in the total package, I don't think so because I just can think of other guys who are better. So that's just my opinion on it.
Joe, what you think?
Cena wins because Super Cena needs to walk out on top. GOAT, modern era. He's the LeBron to Jordan. Jordan's the Undertaker.
I don't know about that either. What?
I
We
think
could save that
I
for a
think
whole nother pod.
I think Gunther wins. I think we see a bunch of Super Cena, but I just think it's kind of, like you said, he's kind of on that legend killer thing. It's kind of building that resume for him. I think Cena wants to just give him, the rub on the way out. I can't imagine. Well, I could see Cena winning just for the crowd and the reaction, but even like when Flair had his last match against HBK, he took the loss. There was a moment, you know what I mean? So it's not necessarily he has to win, he doesn't. He put Dom over, which was great. But I see Gunther winning and then leaving the ring or whatever, and Cena just being in the ring, sitting there, just whatever. Someone made a joke online saying he's going to leave his jorts in the ring, which is really funny.
Oh God,
You know,
Leave the sneaks.
it's gonna, it might have
Just
Hang
to
the
have him-
be.
sneaks
just have
over the
him-
rope. Hang the
just have him
sneaks
put
over
the
the
sneak-
rope.
just have him
Leave
put
the armband. Damn.
Just
Yeah,
have
he
him-
gotta
just
he gotta
have him
let
put
the he
armband.
gotta let the sneaks hang over the rope
just
like
have
he
him
do
put
in the
the
wives.
just have him put the sneaks in the armbands on the ground.
Now,
Have it.
now, is he the GOAT? I don't think so. I mean, I'm like Dre. I'm partial to Flair. I agree with Joe that he's the modern day GOAT. Like he's the best right now. But it's a really big debate. I mean, just off the world titles and everything is one thing, but you got guys like Stone Cold and The Rock and Undertaker, and
Yeah,
there's
those
so
are
many
guys right
different
there that I would put
people,
above him.
and it's
Yeah.
everything is always subjective, anyways, especially when it comes to this.
Yeah.
The only
Is he
thing,
better than Hogan? That's a good
yes,
question.
he was better than
Yes.
Hogan. He was
Yes.
better than Hogan for the fact
No.
that like
And I definitely
No.
he was around
No?
longer. Nah,
and then
Yep.
I'm actually glad you brought that up. For he was around longer because as much I would love to try and put Rock and Stone Cold in that type of category, they weren't as dedicated as Cena was because they weren't around as long as Cena was.
I can't say
But
dedicated with
it's not
Stone
about
Cold. But Stone
dedication.
Cold just got hurt.
Not entirely mean by that. I mean, obviously with Stone Cold with the whole neck problems, obviously that forced to retire.
The Rock wasn't dedicated.
But Rock was not as dedicated because
No.
he obviously went off to Hollywood.
but that's
And
hard.
since-
But that's a hard thing to debate because none of us know anyone's dedication or how they are.
Right.
Like that's what they do every single day. So they obviously have some sort of dedication to be to that point in their career. Now, maybe he had other motivations outside of wrestling that he wanted to pursue, but to say he's not dedicated or whatever, and then put that as an argument. Well, I mean, you could look at a lot of what their body of work is in the ring. That's the most important thing. That's all we're literally judging it on. That's what we can judge and debate it on is what they put in the ring, not just like we're going to guess if they're dedicated or not. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like,
And if you think about it, The Rock had like a very, very similar story to John Cena. I mean, yeah, he was born into wrestling royalty, that's true, but he was like on the cusp of just being fired or buried because the shit he was doing wasn't getting over. And then
not entirely being fired in terms of just probably getting shooted out by the fans because dear God, at that point he was getting a fucking shooting by anybody who was seeing him because literally if you have chanted "Die Rocky Die," yeah. At that point, you got to do something.
Joe, you want to end it with a minute left?
I would love to end this with a double count out, double pinfall, double whatever, and botch it, and I'll have Server come running in to blow his quads out to finish this up. So I told you I was going to get it in with less than a minute. I told you I was going to get that comment in. Anyway, guys, it's Cena's last. As much as you can love him or hate him, he is an influence to everybody in the wrestling industry. He's done it all.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry this. I'm gonna cry this Saturday.
I'm gonna cry. It's my childhood.
I'm literally no. It's not just because of the fact that I'm literally seeing him live.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Maybe we'll have video of DJ crying.
Do it this way.
Oh yeah.
Turn your hand around and do it this way. Have a good one.